7 women who were unknowingly in relationships with gay men. Number 15. Judy Garland. Though it was her role as Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz which made her a part of history forever, Judy Garland would have been no star no matter how things shook out for her. It came as naturally as breathing. This made her a cultural icon for many reasons, but she was perhaps most widely known as an icon for gay men in America. This infatuation with Garland might have been what drove Vincent Minnelli to fall in love with Judy Garland and eventually marry her, despite being a gay man himself. Because of societal pressures and the desire to remain active and working in Hollywood, Minnelli never officially came out of the closet. Nevertheless, it's considered a poorly kept secret now that he was gay. Despite this, he did seem to truly love Garland, and the two had a child together. Number 14. Liza Minnelli. Having a career spanning more than 6 decades is no small feat, and Liza Minnelli has made it look easy. Maybe that's because of being a star runs in her blood. Minnelli is the daughter of famous actress Judy Garland after all. However, being a star isn't the only thing which runs in her blood, apparently. So does marrying gay men, and probably not knowing it at the time. Just like her mother, Minnelli married at least one gay man, Peter Allen. He was her first husband, and he actually had an affair with Mark Herron, who was married to Liza's mother, Judy, at the time. There were rumors that Liza's 4th husband, David Just, was gay as well. These, however, were never confirmed, as Just passed away shortly after marrying Liza. Number 13. Fran Drescher. Although Fran Drescher is now divorced from her husband, Peter Mark Jacobson, the two still in many ways behave as a couple. While their split was amicable, this cause had no effect on Drescher, which she still acknowledges. Her husband, it turned out, was gay. He realized this after more than 20 years of marriage, and Fran says it's made her think hard about many of their past interactions, wondering if he knew he was gay when they were experiencing pivotal moments such as their wedding. Nevertheless, the two have since transitioned from spouses to best friends, and still work together in the production business. After all, Jacobson helped Drescher create the role for which she is best known, the nanny. Number 12. Danielle Fishel. Although the two were never married, perhaps one of the most famous examples of a star finding out that her lover is gay is the case of Danielle Fishel and Lance Bass. Fishel is, of course, best known for her role as Topanga in Boy Meets World, where Bass will forever be enshrined as a member of the boy band NSYNC. The two dated for a year, and Fishel claimed many times that she was in love with Bass. This is why it was a bit of a shock when the two split up, but Fishel now recounts what the real cause of that was. She'd found out that Bass was gay, long before he officially came out to the public. After that revelation, the two knew that they didn't have much of a romantic future, but nevertheless remain close friends and see each other often to this day. Number 11. Star Jones. The divorce of Star Jones and Al Reynolds is perhaps the most scrutinized portion of their marriage. It was highly publicized and reported on throughout their entire process. This was for many reasons, specifically regarding the animosity which came to light between the two. However, many have speculated that the true reason for the split is that Al Reynolds came out as gay to Star. This rumor, while persistent, has never been confirmed by either party involved, and Reynolds still claims to be dating women. Number 10. Rebecca de Alba. There's not much info available about the relationship between Mexican TV presenter Rebecca de Alba and world-famous musician and songwriter Ricky Martin, but the recent revelation that Martin is gay does shed some light on comments made both publicly and privately between the two. De Alba recently claimed that something very personal had taken place between the two, and she felt that Ricky Martin had turned his back on her, and that she'd supported him in a very difficult and critical time. We can only speculate now, but it seems pretty likely that this troubling time was when Ricky Martin came out as gay to de Alba, and she felt betrayed as a result. Ricky, of course, had long denied gay rumors, even facing a direct question from Barbara Walters in an interview, and sidestepping the question rather than answering openly. Number 9. Carrie Fisher. The breakout Star Wars star Carrie Fisher might have been the object of young boys' fantasies the world over, but that didn't stop her longtime romantic partner, Brian Lord, from leaving her after coming out as gay. Even though they were never married, Fisher was with Lord for 3 years before he dropped the bombshell of his true sexuality on her. Fisher claimed in her memoir that Lord told her she turned him gay by taking codeine again, and that the split was very hard on her. The relationship was definitely one of the most significant in her life, and Fisher claimed to have felt humiliated and betrayed in the wake of the experience. Number 8. Terry McMillan. Few stories smack more of the 90s than how Stella got her groove back. That book and the film which followed will most likely evoke strong feelings of nostalgia in anyone who was older than, say, 14 when it came out. Few people know, though, that the man who was Terry McMillan's love interest at the time she was writing the novel and the inspiration for the book itself was a man who would later come out as gay. It's true, though. McMillan's younger husband, Jonathan Plummer, was the source of those feelings, but nothing lasts forever, and the two suffered a very brutal divorce after Plummer told McMillan that he was gay.
Nevertheless, after all these years, McMillan speaks fondly of Plummer and says she would do it all over again.
Number 7. Caroline Moose. In 2013, NBA star Jason Collins shocked the world when he came out as gay. This made him the first openly gay athlete in a major American sport and changed perceptions of social norms in the sports that we all know and love. However, one person who many didn't think about in all of the commotion was Caroline Moose, who was Collins' fiancée and the woman he claimed was his soulmate a few short years before. She says that she found out the truth about her ex-fiancé at the same time as everyone else, when the story hit the newsstands. The two had been together for more than 8 years before Collins called off their wedding. Though she didn't have an explanation for the sudden change of heart at the time, and Collins didn't provide one, she now knows that the real reason was Collins had discovered his own sexuality. Number 6. Barry Berenson. Beloved actress, photographer, and model Barry Berenson is a great example of a woman who didn't know her husband was leading a double life. Her other half, the infamous star of the Psycho movie franchise, Anthony Perkins, is now widely known to have had affairs with a great many men in Hollywood, though he was never openly gay during his lifetime. Nevertheless, the stories remain, and it's considered to be widely established that Perkins was gay and had these affairs while married to Berenson. The two had children together, but because of the political and societal climate at the time, Perkins never chose to reveal his true sexuality to the public. Number 5. Marilyn Rosenberger. Being the spouse of one of the most famous people on television is bound to be a pretty interesting life. Such was the case for Marilyn Rosenberger, whose husband was the famous Robert Reed, star of The Brady Bunch as Mike Brady. However, it's come to light after the fact that Robert Reed was gay throughout the entirety of his career, including when he was starring on The Brady Bunch. This was a fact that Rosenberger was likely aware of, as even his co-stars knew about it at the time. Nevertheless, the couple had one child together before their divorce in 1959. It's not known what role, if any, Reed's orientation played in the split. Number 4. Suzanne Thompson. Nowadays, a stereotype of a politician who is openly anti-homosexuality and stands against gay rights turns out to have been involved in some kind of homosexual extramarital affair is almost too cliché to comment on. But the case of Larry Craig is one of the reasons that story is so pervasive. Craig had faced numerous accusations regarding drug use and his sexuality previously, but married Suzanne Thompson in 1983, and the rumors went to bed for a while. However, in 2007, Craig was arrested for lewd conduct in a men's restroom and resigned after the details of the incident came to light. It seemed that Craig was involved with a gay man in a public bathroom. Craig still denies being gay, and Suzanne Thompson says she believes he was faithful to her despite the allegations. Number 3. Dina McGreevy. In another infamous case of a politician coming out as having had extramarital relations which don't align with his previously public sexuality, New Jersey Governor Jim McGreevy's separation from his wife and inevitable divorce rocked the public's perception of the couple. McGreevy openly admitted to being gay, but his actions leading up to the announcement and his behavior during the divorce left his ex-wife, Dina McGreevy, feeling pretty angry. She claims that she knew nothing of her husband's true nature before the scandal came to light. Number 2. Brooke Shields. While Brooke Shields was still very young and apparently still a virgin, she had a relationship with recently deceased and world-famous musician and songwriter George Michael. Though it seems hard to believe in retrospect, there was once a time when Michael was not openly gay, and his relationship with Shields took place during that time. Shields thought his lack of interest in being with her sexually was actually restraint on his part, born of respect for her wish to protect her first time, though she now chalks this up to naivety on her part. Number 1. Kris Jenner. There's perhaps no better example of a person's sexuality ultimately affecting their marriage than the case of Kris Jenner and Bruce Jenner. Bruce, who of course is now known as Caitlyn Jenner, was married to Kris for more than 20 years, and it was only in 2015 that Bruce came out as a trans woman and began his gender transition. Caitlyn has confirmed that she would have transitioned sooner if not for her romance with Kris. She'd been cross-dressing and taking hormone replacement therapy back in the 90s and stopped when things became serious with Kris. The two split in 2013, citing irreconcilable differences, and it was in 2015 that Bruce began his transition.
If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.